All right, can you guys see my screen now? All right, yep. Perfect. Now we'll go ahead and get the presentation started. So I just wanted to kick off tonight with a few updates. I know that our last meeting, we didn't get a chance for us to meet, and it has been quite a semester, not gonna lie. There's been a lot of things going on. But despite it all, there's also been some pretty fabulous things happening at Claremont in the face of all of the craziness. So I wanted to first share some of those great things. And then talk a little bit about what this semester holds in store for us, and then give us a chance to have a little bit of discussion as well. So I'll go ahead and be chatting for a little bit at the beginning here, and then we'll have a chance for some discussion. So let's go ahead and get started. So a look back at our fall semester. This was obviously probably one of the most challenging starts to a school year we've ever had, coming back from virtual learning and all of that good stuff. But I'm so proud of all of our industry partners and our students and staff, because we really made some great things happen and had to sort of breathe new life into some of our most loved programs, which you guys have been a part of. So I wanted to share some of the wins that we had this semester, even though it was a challenging one. The first one is the financial math class that we had talked about. We shared at the beginning of the year that we started a new class that was all about financial literacy. And this is something that a lot of our advisory board partners have mentioned to us in the past as something that we should prioritize in our curriculum. And so I'm excited to say that we did have 60 students take the class first semester. And we are offering 2 sections again this semester. And it is our goal to eventually get this class open for all seniors to take before they graduate Claremont High School. And we have a school news program on campus. They call themselves CSN, the Claremont Student News. And they did a really quick little bit on the financial math class. So I just thought I'd show that to you. It's only a minute or 2, but I thought you guys might want to see it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real fast.
For so long, there's been this question of, how do I pay taxes? What is debt? How do I manage my money? And why don't they teach us these skills in school? Financial math fills that void.
Financial math is a class that helps young adults such as ourselves to prepare for the real world and to kind of give us an understanding on how to save and how to budget our money.
This financial math course at Claremont High School has taught me and my peers about mortgages, taxes, investing, and most importantly, budgeting.
Even though most of us don't have jobs now, most of us still get allowances, sometimes get money for Christmas, birthdays, etc. It helps us know where to put our money and how to budget it.
Well, I've been saving up for quite a bit, and I've just been learning, just what we've been getting taught I feel is really important, especially once once I graduate and I'm going to start working, and if I'm going to college, it was just teaching me how to be financially stable. And I think it's probably one of the most helpful classes I've taken so far at Claremont.
This class isn't required. Right now, it's basically an elective, but the school is trying to make it a required class. But right now, anyone from junior to senior can take this class.
If you're in Mr. V's class, you can learn how to save your money, buying houses and making investments so you can live the lifestyle you want.
The best place to start saving would be mutual funds, or things that you can invest in that you get interest on. So that way your money is making money for you and without even doing anything and just putting it away and saving it, then compound interest. And compound growth makes money for you.
Letting your money make money is how the rich people do it. Here's hoping you follow the example. Mariah Miles, CSN.
Anyway, just a quick little segment there to show you that a lot of the students, we've heard really good feedback all year about the students who have taken this course. And so we're really excited that we get to continue offering it. I don't know, Mr. Williams, did you want to add anything about the financial math class? I know you've been hearing and talking to a lot of the students.
Sure, no, I mean, I appreciate the folks that have been on our advisory board that kind of help push us to think differently about the courses we offer, right? I think it can be easy to focus just on the chapter of life that you're responsible for helping students narrate or carve out, right? This 4 years they spend at high school can sometimes be seen as just a stepping stone to the next chapter, right? Whether that's college or career, but so much of it is also helping them begin to make really good decisions, build good habits. And so we're really excited about the class. We've got a lot of positive feedback from the students, and definitely thank you to all of those of you on the advisory board that encouraged us to continue to move forward with this.
Yes, so that's one great thing.
For so long, there's been this question.
Another great thing that I wanted to share is that a lot of you helped with our guest speaker week that we did in December. You may recall frantic emails from me trying to find people, and I'm happy to say that we had, I think our total was 34 guest speakers come on campus that week, which was quite a lot. And I just popped a few of them up here for you. I have a few more to show you, but we did do it by academy industry sector. So these were some of the ones for our IT academy. We had a really great cross section. I have to say, it was the first time we've ever done this event, and there's definitely things we took away and learned and could do better next time. But the speakers were fabulous, and the kids really, really enjoyed it. I got some really positive feedback from our freshman foundations teachers because we did these on all of the 9th grade classes. So every single freshman on campus had a chance to see at least 5 guest speakers that week. They took notes on them. They did some research on them. These were some of our business guest speakers. So you can see it kind of really runs the gamut. We had a lot of entrepreneurs, some real estate. These were some of our engineering guest speakers. I really want to thank Dan Lee because he brought the whole force down. I know he's on the Zoom from AECOM, and it was just awesome. We had definitely some amazing ones from Sharp Healthcare as well that came out with our medical academy. And so I really couldn't have been happier with how it all worked out. And I just want to thank you all for sending out memos and everything you did to help us recruit guest speakers. So it was terrific. We had, it was 24. That was our grand total. And a couple of them repeated. That's right. So they did more than one class section. And then we actually had all of the students write individual thank you letters. They typed them up, and I had the pleasure of mailing those out to our guest speakers. And it was really exciting because many of our guest speakers I'm friends with on LinkedIn or whatever, and they posted the thank you notes on social media because they were so excited that the kids got so much out of it. And they were very genuine. I had a chance to read a lot of the letters. So that was a success. And so thank you all so much for your support of that event. We will definitely be doing that one again. It was great. And I want to just show you one quick follow-up that the freshmen did to that event. So that event kicked off sort of a career exploration unit for all of our freshmen. And as part of that, they actually spent a couple weeks exploring a few careers that they were genuinely interested in. And then one of the things we had them do during that time is they created these infographics about a career that they were interested in. So these were all made by freshmen. They also learned how to use Canva, as you can see. But they created these infographics about, these are just a few samples, about the careers that they either heard about from the guest speakers or one that they became inspired to hear about from the guest speakers. And so that whole career research unit really went well with our freshmen. So that's great. And then another big win for Claremont this semester with your support was our internship program. And I got to be honest, I was a little nervous about relaunching this program right after COVID. And then right at the end here, of course, we got hit by this surge of Omicron. And so, but I'm so happy to say that we did place all 45 of our interns. They did all complete their internship. And so those kids actually did about 70 hours of work out in the community, and they all did some final presentations a week ago. And I got the pleasure to sit in on those. So here's a very quick little video about one of the awesome opportunities our kids had in partnership with the Boz Institute, which UCSD Extension helped lead us to. So I want to thank them for that great connection. This was one of the awesomest internships I've ever seen for a high school student. So let's just watch this quick video.
Hi, my name is Miss Cantwell, and I teach the internship class here at Claremont. I spend the first 6 weeks with the students at the beginning of the semester, getting them ready with creating resumes and cover letters, doing interview skills. They even have an interview fair where all the local business partners come and interview the students. And then they leave me. They come in once a week to check in, but then every other day they go to their internship and they work. So they're put in a professional setting, depending on their interest, depending on what academy they're in. We have students at elementary schools. We have students at research labs at Mossy Toyota. So they're kind of all over the place depending on their interest and passion.
Hi, my name is Max. I'm a senior here at Claremont High School, and I currently am in the internship program, for which I go to Bob's internship after school every single day. And what we do there is, right now, currently, we're running PCR on some DNA of abalone. It's really interesting, and I really think anyone who's interested in getting into the workplace should go out and attend this internship program. It's really helpful, and it sets you up for later in life.
All right, so just a little sneak peek. I got a chance to hear Max talk a little bit more in his final presentation, and I got to tell you, some of the stuff he was learning and doing that internship was way over my head. And I know that he shared in his presentation that because of this internship, he is now looking into going to UCSD, first of all, because everyone he works with in the lab attends UCSD, and they pretty much talked him into it, and pursuing a career in this area. And so that's just one great example of what this is offering our students. So I was really excited. I'll be talking a little bit later about the 70 students that we have in the intern program this semester and kind of what we're doing to recruit for that. So
hi, my name is Miss Cam.
There we go. Moving right along. Just a few other little photos about our intern program. There's some kids working. We had some kids at a food pantry that helped out at a nonprofit. We had some kids at Mossy Toyota there. You can see we had a number of interns there. We had some kids at Managed Solution, which is an IT and marketing firm. And we also had the opportunity to go to a lot of our local elementary schools. So some of our students who are interested in education got a chance to go to a couple of our elementary schools like Alcott Elementary. And then there's a few of our kiddos at the Boz Institute again. So just hope, I know a picture's worth 1,000 words. I just want you to see it in action. So we were really proud of our interns despite all odds. I wanted to pause for a minute and give anyone on the Zoom an opportunity to share, because I know you've all been involved in various ways with internships, mentoring, recruiting our guest speakers, our college extension classes, and things of that nature. Is there anything I forgot? Is there anything you wanted to share, or any personal testimonies about how you've been involved with Claremont this semester that you would like to share about?
I think you've covered us pretty well, Liz. I don't think I could do it more justice than you have.
Thanks, Morgan. Great. Well, we'll continue along, but feel free at any point. Oh, yes, go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah, not so much about Claremont, but I was going to offer maybe some additional help in the speaker program, or even on the literacy. So when COVID started, I and a number of friends of mine, I actually started a investment club. And another guy, his name is Mark Lefkowitz, who's a very successful real estate investor. He owns a lot of property in La Jolla. He actually teaches financial literacy at the college level. And so when we first started this, he's too busy to do that, to do the club right now. I have a number of YouTube videos that he was actually teaching about real estate, in terms of real estate, owning your own real estate, and how real estate investors go about, getting to that. And he also teaches overall just about financial literacy. And then my investment club, we talk about stocks and all kinds of things. So all I was going to say is I would be happy to some way assist in that area, or even have Mark come in as a guest speaker, or myself, or even have the students attend one of my investment club meetings, which are every other Monday.
Thanks for that, Lewis. That sounds really great. I mean, I can think of a number of ways we might be able to check in about that. We have obviously our business academy might be pretty interested in some of that stuff. And then our financial math teacher, Mr. Villanalim, might be interested in having a guest speaker or two, or maybe getting some of those YouTube videos. Those sound pretty awesome. So yeah, Lewis, let's connect on that later. I love that.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
This is Dan Lee, AECOM Engineering. We thoroughly enjoyed having the opportunity to present some of the neat projects that our younger engineers are involved in. It really is, it's good for them just as well as the students, and gives them an opportunity to share their passion and some of the neat projects. The folks that are the younger engineers that did present were all interns with AECOM that we brought up from San Diego State. So now we're turning the tables and they're having this opportunity. So we look forward to continuing this opportunity.
Thanks for that, Dan. I know your speakers were a big hit. And actually, one thing I did forget to share is, I don't know if you guys remember one of our first meetings this year, we talked about what we should look for in a guest speaker and kind of how they should structure their guest speaker talk. And as a result of that conversation and the notes that I took from your guys' input, we put together a sort of a cheat sheet for our guest speakers and sort of a recommended outline. And yeah, the AECOM, those young intern or once intern speakers were definitely the ones the kids enjoyed the most. So thanks so much for that, Dan. Awesome.
Yeah, we look forward to actually this team, the group that I have. I'm the project manager for the Pure Water program for the city of San Diego, and we are going to be routing 48-inch water lines, sewer lines down Claremont Drive, and so that will be coming right by Claremont within the next few years. So we certainly want to share some of that intellect with the students. You'll be involved in it whether or not you like it or not, I guess, with the traffic. But that's what's coming down the line.
That's really exciting. We got to get some high school interns over there, Dan, don't you think?
Well, yeah, we need to look into this. This COVID is kind of throwing us for a loop a little bit.
Us too. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. That's super exciting. All right. Well, moving forward a little bit, let's talk a little more about our upcoming spring semester. Our students just launched spring semester on Monday. So they all just started their new classes. And so we have some big things in store for them. First and foremost, I haven't said much about it tonight yet, but our mentoring program, which has also been a success this first semester, does continue into next semester. And I shared a little bit about that at the last meeting, but one thing that we've always done with our mentors in February is a job shadow. And of course, typically that has looked like a field trip off campus where our students get to go and shadow their mentor for a day, or they do some sort of educational sort of career learning experience. We had to pivot a little bit, but I'm happy to share that at our last mentor meeting, our mentors were still really enthusiastic about doing something with their students. And so we kind of gave them the opportunity to choose either an in-person job shadow sort of destination. They can either go to a local college campus or they could do a visit if they happen to have an office that's open and willing to host a few students. And then we've also provided some virtual options or some on-campus options. And I have to say the mentors are knocking it out of the park. I had one texting me all day today about 5 of our mentors in the medical academy who have kind of pooled their resources together, and they're going to pull a bunch of contacts from the medical industry, and they're setting up like a job shadow Q&A session in our library for our juniors. So great things like that are happening this month, February, and that is all through our mentoring program. So thank you to all of you who helped us recruit mentors at the beginning of the year. They are still going strong. They're an excellent group of people. Our intern program is alive and well, and we have 70 students in it this semester. And so And we actually do have 6 students continuing. Some of them like their internship so much that they and their supervisors agreed to continue for the entire year. But we do have many students who are coming in cold. And so you heard from the instructor earlier, but we are looking to place those interns this month or February, I should say. It feels like it's already February to me. But you can see some of our big deadlines and dates up here, which I'll be happy to send out in an email afterward. But one big thing we're doing differently, and this is where you guys might want to help support, is we're going to be holding an informational lunch meeting. I've been getting a lot of interest from various new partners now that we've started the year and there's a little bit of traction. And so before committing and filling out the registration form and requesting an intern and all of that sort of formality, we're going to go ahead and hold an informational lunch meeting here on campus. This is going to be on February 9th. And at that meeting, I'm just going to share more about the program and the vision and kind of the logistics so that people can see if it might fit into the needs of their company. And so I would encourage you to think about inviting folks to this. There is a flyer for it, which I think I have on one of the next slides. I'll show it. But there's a registration form on the flyer and all are welcome to attend. You all would also be welcome if you just want to come and hear the whole spiel about the program and sort of how to promote it. And then from there, it really takes off. We have a deadline of February 17th for anyone who wants to register to request an intern. We have an interview fair on the 25th, on Friday, the February 25th. And then all of our student interns we're hoping to place by March 7th. So that is our goal. We do have a lot of information on our website. There's links here below, which again, I'll send out in an email. But I'm hoping for a really good turnout this semester. I will share that we have 3 exciting potential new partners that I've been working with just in the last couple weeks. And they're looking pretty good. We have the County of San Diego that has actually approached us and said, we have a shortage in the health industry, in the engineering industry, and we want interns. And I was like, we got interns. So we've been having some great conversations. They're going to be coming to that informational meeting on the 9th. Marriott, we have created a new partnership with Marriott, and there are 4 different locations in San Diego that we are working with. They're obviously in need of a lot of help at this time, and so they are very interested in getting some of our interns as well. And then I had the pleasure just today to be on the phone with the City of San Diego Parks and Rec, and they have some amazing opportunities. They have received a huge grant. I was not aware of this, that allow them to turn almost all of their volunteer opportunities into paid positions for high school interns. And so those ones are actually going to be paid internships. So I'm really excited about that. But I do feel like we're kind of gaining some momentum. And so my goal now is not only to get the word out, but to create and to find the most special internships we can and the greatest opportunities for our students. So if you guys can help with that, this is how you can help. There's that flyer I mentioned for the informational meeting on February 9th. So again, after this meeting, I will send out an informational email with some of these links so that you could just easily forward that on to anyone who might be interested. I'd encourage you to also think about posting it out on social media. And then I'm also happy to do a one-man roadshow with anyone that you think would be a great contact. I'm happy to set up a phone call or a Zoom, or in the past, I've even gone to businesses and talked about the program there in their own setting. So I'm happy to do that as well. So those are just a couple ways that you can help support the intern program. And I do think this is one of the best things we offer our students at Claremont. So we are excited. I also want to share again, I mentioned this really briefly in our recorded meeting last session, but we have been funded by a grant to adopt a new platform that I'm pretty excited about that's going to help us manage and keep a little bit more organized with all of our different industry partners and advisory board. As you can imagine, with all of our intern supervisors and all of the mentors and guest speakers, we really want to keep those contacts in an organized database and have sort of a platform where we can message out and even make it available to our industry partners to connect and network. And also our teachers have the opportunity to get in and kind of peruse, if you will, who our contacts are. So for example, if one of our engineering teachers wanted civil engineering guest speaker, they could log into this system and they could, look up Dan Lee and find him and actually reach out to him directly with that information. So I have just started, I'm an administrator on this new platform, and I have just started tinkering with it. And so I wanted to give you all fair warning that you're going to be receiving an email from me from this system in the next day or two, because what I have done is I have the opportunity to upload a lot of our partners via kind of a CSV contact list into the system. This is a closed system, by the way. It's only seen by Claremont personnel. So it's not as if we're going to be sharing out contact information with any other entities. And you all have to have, everyone who participates has to have a login to get in, and you really only have access to your own information. But from my standpoint, I'm able to message out, for example, our advisory board through this platform. And we're even able to keep, for example, meeting minutes and things like that in a place where you can go in and have access. I could, for example, put this entire presentation into a folder that you would all have access to on this platform as an advisory board member. So I am going to be messaging you an email. It's going to look something kind of like this. I did it to myself so that I could see what it looked like. And what it does is you're going to receive an email that says it's from Seamless WBL, which stands for Work-Based Learning. And that invitation will have a subject line, as you see on the screen there, that says invitation from Claremont for work-based learning activities. And then they give you an email like you see here on the right, and you get to set up a password for your username, which I believe is just your email. And once you have done that, you actually have access to this platform, and you are able to go in to your contact bio, if you will, and add information. So for example, there's a place there where you can put your company's website or a couple of pieces of information about your company, or how you want to be involved with Claremont High School. There's certain tags that you can select. I want to be contacted for mentor program, for guest speakers, and so on. And so we're right on the beginning of starting to use this, and I'm a novice, but I just wanted to let you know that this is the direction we're going to try to keep things a little bit more organized with all of our industry and community partners. And so please be on the lookout for it. And please set a password and log into the system so that we can kind of start formalizing some of the things that we're doing here. All right. So I wanted to go ahead and those are all my updates, unless anyone else has something to share, or if Mr. Williams has anything else he wants to share. After that, I have kind of one big question I wanted to pose to the group today that I thought we could have a little bit of discussion on. It's something we've been asking ourselves a lot at Claremont. But let me pause for a moment. Can I answer any questions, first of all, on anything that I talked about? Or is there any other announcements and or information that should be shared by this group? Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to certainly have time for discussion ahead of us if anyone thinks of anything. So the question that I wanted to pose to the group, and I'm going to open it up for, you can unmute and discuss it, Will, for just a couple minutes here. We have been asking ourselves the question, actually, let me back up. I get a lot of our industry partners, our mentors and guest speakers who come in, and this is on my mind mostly from the guest speakers that we just had in. Many of them approached me afterward. I had a chance of, watching them and present their presentations. And then many of them would come to me afterward and say, wow, the things you're doing here at Claremont, this is really cool. I never had this as a student. The high school looks so different. Or what's this academy thing? This is really neat. And the general consensus that I kept getting after talking to a lot of our partners was, you guys need to market this better. Like we didn't even know this existed. We have other people in the community that would want to get in on this or be involved in this. And so, and Mr. Williams is always asking us in our sort of internal meetings, how do we tell our story better? How do we market or create awareness with all of our folks, with industry, with our parent community? And so I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but I wanted to open it up for all of the great minds here to share how we could better be doing this. And I am going to take some notes on a document here that I have linked, but I'll go ahead and open it up for discussion. And then Mr. Williams, if you want to share any more about the this question that I know you've also been posing a lot lately, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just piggyback a little bit off of what Liz shared. Obviously, I think as a high school administrator, I'm constantly thinking about how can we improve the experience for our kids, right? That's a question that we will constantly ask. And I think one of the things that we believe fundamentally is that learning is social, learning is relational, learning is, and really learning is the responsibility of a community, not just the for lack of better words, I don't want to say fake or faux community that exists within a high school campus or a school campus, but the community at large, San Diego, Claremont, the geographical region of Claremont, because as we look at, I'm just sort of looking at the folks that we have joining us here on this Zoom, and there's some amazingly talented people with some amazing experiences who I think, by the very nature of you being here, I mean, we're not paying you to be here. So, have a lot that they want to give and a lot that they want to share with young people and to share with members of their community. And so I think we're constantly asking ourselves, how do we tap into that in a couple different ways? One, how do we make people aware that opportunities like these exist, whether that be to be a mentor, to be part of our internship program, to take students on a job shadow, to be a guest speaker, right? We want to get that information out there that people can support what we're doing at Claremont, and most importantly, make a difference in the lives of young people. I know we spoke about Max, who is the student who went to the Boz Institute. It's really hard to tell the story of Max, without knowing him. But as a young freshman, a young squirrely freshman boy, I vividly remember conversations with his mother going, this might be a very long 4 years for this young man. And just literally last week to hear him present the impact this internship had and the impact these researchers, these researchers in various biomedical fields had on him, it changed the way he thought about himself. It changed the way he thought about life after high school. I mean, he spoke pretty vividly about, I had thoughts about what I could do that were very limited. And this allowed him to see himself as a professional. It allowed him to see himself as somebody who was competent and had something to offer to the world. And I just can't, say enough about the transformative process that this young man has gone through over the past 4 years. I mean, I literally called his mom and she jokingly said, what did Max do? And I said, no, I need to tell you how proud I am of your son and how much he's grown. And that doesn't happen by accident. And so I think what we really want to do is, as a school, is not only market these opportunities, but create these opportunities for folks like yourselves, right? Who have the ability to share your experiences and share a little bit about your career or your journey that will resonate with kids in a way that it might resonate differently than, oh, Mr. Williams, you're our principal, or, Miss Rush, you're the academy coordinator. But, when folks who are out there in the world doing this connect with kids and even can say, hey, you know what, I had no idea that this was going to be my path, or maybe I knew from the time I was 5 years old, this was what I wanted to do. That resonates with different kids who can see themselves in professionals that maybe have a similar path or set of interests or skill sets. And so I think for us, it's really, telling that story and also creating the space and the structures that allow folks like yourself to be able to give back in the ways that you want to the extent that you want to. So that's a long-winded way of kind of asking the question that Liz shared, which is, I think, really a two-parter is, we want to tell these stories, and we also want to create space for these stories to be created.
Well, I can offer perhaps one vehicle for dissemination, which is through the education channel at UCTV. Associate Dean Eda Beta and myself oversee the education channel, and we produce short form videos for parents, for teachers, for community members that really can take the form of a panel. So our viewership for the education channel is approximately 1.5 million individuals per annum because it pushes to all social media platforms. And it's also a medium that you can sort of slice and dice and embed. So for example, not only can we share stories through UCTV, but we can share it on our social media by extracting particular segments, and it's easily done. It can be done virtually with an executive producer and a director, and it's really about storytelling. It's really about highlighting experiences. And in the same vein, we also have at Education and Community Outreach a professional ghostwriter, and a lot of the stories from the Boz Institute and similar opportunities have been written up for posting and have been published not only in the university through the university, but also in the Union Tribune and other places. So, you know, those services we can avail to you without charge at all.
Wow. Morgan, what would be the first step if we wanted to do a segment? Where would we begin?
Well, the first thing what we could do is we could just hop on a quick Zoom to talk about format. And then what I would do is sort of, so you would think thematically. So maybe you want to tell stories emerging from each academy or each internship, and stories, I think like the Boz story that could be expanded. And then what we do is we decide, do we want these to be individual testimonies? Do we want a panel of kids or a panel of mentors talking specifically about the experience and how it benefits things like workforce development and cultivation of essential skills, all of that kind of thing. So we talk about it thematically. So it may be one video, it may be two. And then after we have an initial conversation, we hop on the Zoom with our executive producer, and she will tell us how to make it aesthetically engaging and media friendly. And then we sort of storyboard, and then the next meeting that we have, that's probably about 40 minutes cut down, probably do a good 15 or 20 minute espresso shot is the actual filming. And we can do things like embed graphics. If you want this translated into Spanish, we can do subtitles. But the best thing is, and if you visit the education channel, you can visit, I think it's uctv.tv/education. What you'll see is that when you watch the videos, you can link to blogs, you can link to resources, you can link to programs, but you'll see that it's also pushed. We helped develop the algorithm for YouTube in the early days. So we get sort of a preferred treatment from them, but we also push to Amazon, Roku, and all of the major platforms. So you can tell the story locally and you can tell the story internationally.
Wow.
So just give me a buzz and we can set something up.
I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much. We will definitely, I can see Mr. Williams' eyes lighting up. So I'm sure we'll be reaching out, Morgan. That's great. What a great opportunity. Just taking a little notes here, but feel free to chime in if you have any other ideas.
This is Dan Lee again. What we did about 2 years ago, prior to the COVID issue, is the pandemic, is with and I'm on the board, the American Council of Engineering Companies here in San Diego, which is literally 70 engineering companies, part of a overall national society of engineers. But we invited 5 of the engineering academies of the different high schools to attend one of our monthly general membership meetings. And each one of those academies actually, it was kind of like a science fair where they made a presentation ahead of the luncheon to all of the members. And then, of course, they were invited to the lunch, but that gave each one of the academies a lot of exposure to a lot of obviously it's not like UCTV, the spread of that, but it certainly gave San Diego Unified School District the opportunity to really showcase the academies. Sarah Vielma and Nate Sashtaba were also part of that. So I'm still on the board and will continue. And that may be an opportunity that we can think of as we get out from underneath the pandemic. We are starting to have in-person general membership meetings now. But of course, that is going to be dependent upon what happens in the future. But anyways, that's one thought.
That sounds awesome, Dan. Is that so? Were you thinking that that is maybe an opportunity for us to once again invite some students to the lunch meeting and present about something specific about Engineering Academy or about the intern program or something of that nature?
Yes, exactly. And possibly we could get it focused that it is just Claremont High School making that presentation. So something to think about. I'm part of the team that schedules these monthly meetings, and typically it will be anywhere from 50 people to 100 engineers, depending upon the subject.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, we got to get in on that.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to give back to Claremont, as you know, I'm an alumni of alumnus or whatever of Claremont High School.
Well, we sure appreciate that. We got a few of those on the Zoom today, right? Steve, I think you're on too. He's on mute, but yeah, Steve is also a alum. That's great. I'm loving these ideas. Any other things that we should be exploring, scheduling?
I have a suggestion. I was wondering how much has been in the area of in the social media aspect when we were talking about like LinkedIn profiles. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Kind of catching every other word, Lewis.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can?
Yep.
Okay. So my suggestion was, you know how we were talking about, I guess we were talking about trying to help the students to market themselves to employers, you know, developing resumes, presence on LinkedIn so they can network and so forth. But on the other side, how about mentors and on the board, how about if we share all of our profile information, you know, like LinkedIn, so you can discover what some skill sets are of some of the people on the board. So those people may not even know some of the experiences that they can offer, but if you see all of the different skill sets, it may give you the idea of how you.
Oh no, I think we lost him. Is he? Nope, yeah, we must have lost him. Oh, are you back, Lewis? There you are.
I'm sorry, I had bad transmission.
That's okay.
I don't know if you got that last part. So that basically the concept is to basically have, you know, like when you were talking about having the contact shared with industry partners, what we could do is share our own contacts in LinkedIn and, you know, just a expose of what our skill sets are. So it would help also maybe some of the students that are in the different academies, you know, maybe shadow in with those people that can kind of match up with them. And then it serves a dual purpose in that you could also approach them and see if there's some areas where they can educate, where there's some holes that you don't have. And the other thing I wanted to add is, do you remember the job career when you came over, when I was over at Viasat, and you came over with 60 students? It was probably one of the larger tours that we ever had at Viasat. And when after the tour, I did that job shadowing in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I did, which I try to make interesting, is I try to get all the students questions ahead of time. Well, that was kind of to save time. But the other thing that I did is I try to show the cross-pollination between people as far as in their careers in terms of the job shadowing aspects, to see how people work together as a team. Not that you are working exclusively as an island in one job occupation, but to show what it's like for good teamwork, and to show how you basically you can develop cross-functional skills and learn, and how you interact with other people in a team. So as a part of doing a job shadowing, maybe trying to get, what I did in that case is I tried to get people who were working on a particular project that had different skill sets to demonstrate that. And then the other thing I tried to do, which would be effective, if you could maybe encourage some of the companies that are doing the job shadowing, I had LinkedIn profiles projected next to each one of the employees, and there were a lot of interns that I selected. So students had an idea. First of all, they didn't remember names, let alone remember keeping track what everybody did, but they could see as they were speaking what the progression was, how they got from high school, their hobbies, their part-time jobs and experiences, how they got to where they were, as an intern to get hired on by Viasat. So that's also helpful. That's about all I have to add.
Thanks, Lewis. There's some really great ideas in there. I especially love the idea of mentors or industry partners sharing their LinkedIn as an example to students. I see a couple really great places we can do that in our mentor program, and also when our student interns actually create LinkedIn profiles, but they often don't know what to put on there and what, and it obviously takes time. Over time they develop it, but to see some model examples from industry, I think that's a really great idea. I love that. Thanks for that.
Right. As far as Apple developing LinkedIn profile, it would be for people who are out in or working or get laid off. They're helpful. You already have that all developed, and you can create and market.
Oh, Lewis, I'm so sorry.
Network with a lot of other people.
Lewis, I'm sorry. We're catching every other word. I might have to stop you there, but I appreciate the great ideas.
I'm sorry, my transmission's bad. Okay.
That's okay.
I'll stop talking.
No, we just don't want to miss those great ideas, but we could certainly have a conversation after as well, or put it in the chat and I'll throw it on this document. But I do also want to be respectful of time. We have just a couple minutes left. Is there anyone else who would like to add to this list, or anything else that you think we should be doing? I see a lot of great ideas so far that I'm really excited about. I want to give anyone else an opportunity who didn't have a chance to share yet. Great. Well, I will share one thing that I've been thinking about, and I know a couple other mentors mentioned it to me. So, and I can throw it on here as well, but we have been talking about having some pages that feature some of our volunteers on our website. We feature our programs, but not any of the actual folks who are involved. So, for example, a couple of the mentors came to me and said, why don't we have a Meet the Mentors page where we have, quick little snippet bios and photos and their companies represented to give credit to our partners. I love that idea. I love the idea, but I don't know how industry people feel about that. So is that something that you guys believe that that folks would be amiable to, or are there problems with, you know, company logos and things like that being put on our website? I'm kind of in sort of a new territory there.
I don't think we certainly wouldn't have an issue at all.
Yeah, and I don't believe AECOM. So 55,000 folks worldwide. I'd have to check, but I don't think that would be an issue for us either.
Awesome. Well, that is something that we could pretty easily take on with some sort of form where you submit a photo and submit some information. And we actually have students and maybe even an intern who might want to create this for us and develop just the actual aesthetics of it all. But that is something that we've been talking about and thinking about. So great. Well, I am going to be sharing this document with everyone after the meeting as in my follow-up email. So feel free to add more ideas to it or any bullets that I didn't catch as I was trying to capture what you all were saying. I do want to quickly remind that we do have social media for Claremont High School. If you're not already following, we do have Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we are trying really hard this year to make a push to social media and really we have one of our vice principals who's doing a pretty fabulous job posting at least 2 or 3 things every single day that's happening at Claremont. So if you follow any of those, we would love to have you kind of watching and seeing the things that are happening. And then
Liz, if you have any interesting stories related to academy or internships that you post on social media, will you send them to us and we'll share?
Oh, that would be great. We will do that, Morgan. I will talk to our vice principal. His name is Ruben about that. Yeah, that's terrific. Thank you. And then just really quickly, we do have 2 meetings remaining for this school year, March 10th. And at this time, I am hopeful that we'll be doing an in-person meeting. So unless everyone has feedback that we would prefer it not to be in person, but we can certainly make that decision as we get closer and things settle down a little bit. And then we do have a final meeting on May 12th. The focus of some of those meetings, the March meeting, one of our big events we'll be doing later in the year is our mock interviews for our 10th graders. That's a really big fun event that we'll definitely talk more about. And in May, one of the focus I'd like to pose is kind of how do we better utilize this team and what would be the goals for our advisory board in next school year now that we've had a year to kind of settle back in to being in person. And relaunching all of our programs, I felt that conversation kind of needed to be put on pause for a little bit, but in May, I definitely want to engage you all in the conversation of what should this board look like? How should it function for the future? So that is where we're at. I want to thank you all really from the bottom of my heart for all the support. You guys have been so terrific. In all of the different programs and all the different things we're trying to do. And truthfully, none of this stuff would work without you guys. So I really appreciate all of your time and energy. It's well spent. It's all for the kids. And we're so grateful. So thank you all so much for your time tonight. I'd be happy to hang out and answer any questions you might have. But other than that, have a great evening and look for my email and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.